1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, welcome to a new episode. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Ricky. And we are
Paper Screen.
So, Brittany, what have you been up to? What have you been reading, watching?
What have I been up to? Let me tell you. I'm really falling in love with my bicycle.
Is that a name of a book?
No, that's just an activity I do.
Oh.
I bike. But yeah, what am I reading right now? I'm reading a book called Japanese House of Ghosts. I think the Japanese House of Ghosts. I'll correct myself on the next episode if that's not what it's called. But I just very briefly started it, and I just saw movies that we're probably not going to talk about that I saw. The Silent Twins. Really heavy. It was really good. Like, it's a good movie. People should watch it, but it's a downer, to say the least. And then maybe someday we'll get to talk about this one, but the 10,000 Years of Longing, I really enjoyed that one. It was really, really powerful cast and really cool effects. They jump through time a lot, so it's just like visually really, really fun.
Idris Elba.
He plays a sexy djinn.
Yeah.
Tilda Swinton plays like a professor in like some sort of like archaeology or something / woman on the brink of a mental breakdown. We love that.
Yeah, I feel like she plays that a lot.
She does. she's one of the best though. You know,
yeah.
She can do no wrong.
Right.
So, what are we talking about today?
You didn't ask me what I'm.
I'm sorry. Whoopsie doodle.
Whoopsies.
Okay, Ricky, what have you been up to?
Well, I went to go see Smile. We're not going to talk about that movie, but it was a fun movie. I think it was better than the trailers.
Mm-hmm. It had a lot more to offer.
Yeah, definitely. But I don't think I would ever see it again. I mean, if you like fun horror movies, definitely go see it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I think if you see the trailer and you're like, oh, that's like one of those movies I want to see, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Should we segue into our topic of discussion today?
Yeah. What movie are we talking about?
So in this episode, we are going to be talking about the movie
Barbarian.
If you don't know about this movie, it's a horror, suspense, thriller.
Action.
No, not action. Just for everyone who's listening, there's going to be spoilers. So
huge spoilers. So if you haven't, and this is a movie you have to experience
in the theater.
This is 476 Barbary, right?
I don't know. Yeah. I think so.
You don't know?
No, I don't live here. I'm renting this place. It's the middle of the night. I don't have it top of my head, the address.
No, I'm renting this place.
What? Are you sure you have the right place?
Yeah, I booked it like a month ago.
This is unbelievable.
What are we supposed to do?
I don't know.
So a little bit about this movie. It's about a woman staying at an Airbnb, and she discovers that the house that she has rented is not what it seems. But it's starring Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, and Justin Long. We both worked with him.
We go way back.
We both worked with him.
Mm-hmm.
Scrawny little guy.
Gemini.
Oh. Got it.
Size 28 waist. that's what I can tell you about.
Brittany worked on wardrobe, so she knows.
I interned in wardrobe. I don't want to claim I worked, but I interned.
Yeah.
We were in film school.
And it was fun to work on this independent project.
Yeah, it was cool. When we could, and yeah, because we were in school full time.
You lasted longer than I did. I literally was there for 4 days, and I was like, I had enough.
But I couldn't go every day because I had work and I had school, so I only went once or twice a week or something. Anyway.
So this film is directed by Zach Cregger, known for his role in this TV show that I don't know of. It's called Wrecked.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. But apparently it's a comedy show, like a series.
So my partner is super familiar with him because they are a big fan of the show Whitest Kids You Know.
Is that a show or a movie?
It's a show, and it was on from 2007 to 2011. I've never seen it, though. But it kind of sounds like absurdist humor, or like whatever. But yeah, this guy has like a strong background in comedy.
Which is such a big pivot to like a different genre. But yeah, this movie was an experience. I will say the marketing for this was like really good because they kept everything mysterious.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to expect when I saw it. And what a ride it was.
Huge ride. Fucking crazy. I think you texted me like
after I got out of the movie.
Yeah. You were like, you need to go see Barbarian. It's crazy. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I went on like a weeknight. I had only seen like one trailer or something. And it was kind of like, okay, like, it looked good. It looked intriguing, but it was also like the way they marketed it and everything was, they made it really look like it was going to be this like, oh, I'm going
thriller.
To an Airbnb and like, oopsie doodle, like they
like
double booked us.
Movie?
and like, you know, her and Bill were like, he was going to be just some like guy there. And then he turns into like a freak and like holds her captive. Like that's just like what the trailer kind of gave the impression of. But yeah, like right when the movie starts, she's like outside the Airbnb. It's like dark, it's rainy. The sound mix sounded really good in my theater. So yeah.
The whole time watching the movie, like this movie like gave me anxiety watching it because it was so suspenseful.
Suspenseful.
And like the character was like doing the stupid things that like you shouldn't do in a horror movie, and she's like self-aware but she does it anyways,
right? Like she the whole time she's like, no, I'm not gonna stay here, and then it's like, well, here's my ID, and she's like, oh, okay, fine, and then like, here, drink this. She doesn't drink it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, they really set it up, all these sort of like booby traps, and she like does them, but nothing happens.
Yeah. The movie starts off with her like going to this Airbnb, and then she finally meets like Bill Skarsgård, and like it starts off like a romantic comedy. They got this like little meet cute.
Yeah.
moment.
Like it's like they're both like pissed. It's the middle of the night, and then like he just seems untrustworthy because he's a funky looking dude. Like he's handsome, but he doesn't look normal.
Right. It's those bug eyes.
Yeah, he's got the buggy eyes. Like, and he's like, look outside. It's like pitch black, and he's so like kind of persistent. Like, and like, no, you should stay here. And so she's like, I don't know, dude. Like, and then eventually he's like awkwardly offering wine, right?
Well, first I think it was tea.
It was tea, and she didn't drink it. And then he acknowledges that. He's like, I know why you didn't drink that. Like, here, open the wine. Like, you can, you know.
Yeah.
And then they very quickly are like, ew, hi.
Yeah. And like, okay, so she starts to trust him because, you know, he's like really trying to gain her trust.
She finds out he's like one of the founders or whatever of this initiative in Detroit that is like buying back houses and like giving them back to the community. You know, some sort of anti-gentrification kind of thing, right?
Right. And then she's like there for
a job interview for a documentary.
About that, right? Or is it?
It was about music. It was about like
it was about music,
jazz or something. Yeah.
And then that was their connection, was that like he was involved with, he was like a part of a band or something.
Yeah, I don't know, some whatever, but because she's familiar with it, she's like, oh, okay, and then she like opens up.
There's like this cute moment when he like teaches her to put a bed sheet on. Or like
the duvet.
The duvet. Okay, so after that happens, like
they go to bed and she wakes up in the middle of the night and her door is open and she locked her door.
Right.
Who the fuck opened the door?
And there's like stomping.
Yeah, she hears like some shuffling or something.
Do we think it's Mama?
Yeah, I think it's Mama.
Okay.
Because she goes out in the living room and Bill is like having a night terror. Which, like, what is he dreaming about?
I know.
It's like so interesting.
What kind of nightmare are you having?
He's such like a mysterious. He's like a big distraction from like the whole movie. But she's like, Keith, and he's like, wow, and he's like scared of her. He's like, what are you like? What the fuck are you doing?
What are you watching me for?
Yeah, he's like freaked out, and she's like, oh, my door was open, and like so during that, I was like, oh, he's pretending to have a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Right?
But then eventually, like, what? It's like the next day.
They
now?
literally do like this awesome jump cut where she's on her bed and then bam.
Oh yeah, and then
it's
it's the next day.
daytime.
She like plops on her bed.
Mm-hmm. So then we finally we finally launch into the movie basically.
Yeah.
That whole like first like act 1 is just like this kind of like long, not long, but this whole like suspenseful, and it's a setup basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And like the main character, Tess.
Okay, hold on. That was another reason I thought maybe Bill was like, or Keith was like shady, is because he goes, "What was your name? Like, what's your name again, or whatever?" And she's like, "Tess," and he's like, "Oh, it's a beautiful name." And you're like,
Yeah.
what? Like, even she's like, okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, her name is Tess. And, like, we love Tess, but, like, that's not a name. Like, if her name was, like, Ophelia or, like, something, like, unique or something, like, sure. But, yeah, or, like, I don't know if your name's, like, fucking Daffodil. Like, something, like, interesting or whatever. But she's just, like, Tess. And he's like, oh, beautiful name. What the fuck?
So then Tess, after she's like kind of shaken by this like weird,
right? But she has her interview. She wakes up late and she's like, "Oh fuck!" and she's got to get to her interview.
She goes to this interview, and then like the person that's interviewing her is like, "Oh, where are you staying?"
Mm-hmm.
And then she like tells the lady like where she's staying, and basically she's like, "Oh, you shouldn't be there."
Yeah.
She finds out that she's like in the projects,
right? She's like, "Wait, no, seriously, you can't stay there."
Because this movie basically, I mean, it's in Detroit,
right?
And Detroit has some very sketchy neighborhoods, and this is where this Airbnb is. Mm-hmm. So now you're like, what the fuck?
And she didn't know that really when she got there, because it was so dark and it was raining, and she was just distracted by the fact that she needs to get into this Airbnb.
Yeah. And that's why he was like, did you not see like this neighborhood? Like,
yeah. I mean, and it's like, it's a neighborhood you wouldn't not notice.
And then also, why is there a really nice house in like the ghetto?
Well, because that's what people do now. They go and buy houses, even in like kind of rundown neighborhoods. They do some flipping, and then they turn it into like a revenue stream. Like, it's like Justin Long's character is just like renting. He just gets money.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
We'll get into his character later because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
So then, like, she goes back to the Airbnb because she wants to, like, get the fuck out of there. But then she, like, is concerned.
But she's in love with Keith.
Yeah, she's concerned about Keith.
Connection.
The rom-com moment, like, she's like, I'm gonna save this white man
from himself.
I mean, he eventually comes back to the Airbnb and like doesn't really care that like all the houses around the Airbnb is like
but that's because he's been around that, because he does doesn't his character like is a part of.
Oh, you think that's part of his character? Like he's aware of like the project, so it's I guess. But anyways, the part where she's like going into the basement to like look for him, or what is she looking for? Toilet paper. She was looking for toilet paper.
She's looking for toilet paper.
And then accidentally locks herself down there because the door behind her that leads to the basement
is like
shuts.
heavy and shuts.
And I was like, oh fuck. So now she's like trapped down there. And then she's like looking around for like
blow.
With blow?
It will blow. It's just Tess and some blow. And some toilet paper.
So then basically she finds that like,
and she goes against her own instincts because she's looking for, and then she she goes down there and she finds out there's a hidden room. And
she's like trying to find something to like get the door unlocked.
She like discovers a fucking hidden room. She sees the weird bed, the camera, and blood on the wall.
Yep.
And then Keith comes home and she's locked down there, and Keith comes and like rescues her. Yeah. And then so when she goes upstairs and Keith helps her, whatever, she sounds kind of like nuts, right? Because she's a little like, she's just like, there's a secret room and there's a bed and and he's like, what? And he's like, I just want to go look at it. And she's like, don't go down there. It's crazy. Like, it's scary. Don't go down there.
Yeah.
And then he goes down there. And he's like, I'll swear, I'm just gonna look, like, peep my head in. It'll literally be 1 minute or whatever.
Right. And this is like exactly what horror movies do all the time, is that the white characters always do like, oh, let's go check out that noise.
Yeah.
And then they never come back.
Right.
Nope.
So he doesn't come back. And like that part was cool because again, you're still thinking, you're like, oh, he's hiding. Like he's hiding and that's his like secret room, you know?
Yeah.
Of course, like, yeah.
So then he's like leading her because she's like, oh, he needs help.
Right.
Even though she doesn't want to go down there. But he's not responding.
Right.
And then basically she goes back down into the basement, props that door open so that she's not locked down there again.
Right.
And then she just goes deeper and deeper into this like tunnel and finds like another room.
It's just like this. It's like, I would never.
I know.
I would never. I only would if I was with like a group of friends, like a safe flashlight, and I couldn't be alone.
Oh my god!
But I am a curious person. I probably would do it. I mean, I've like done weird shit like that.
Yeah, me too. But like not in this horror
Not
situation.
this.
Okay, so then she finds this like extra doorway to another tunnel.
It's like kind of camouflaged.
Yeah, camouflaged into the wall. So Bill Skarsgård must have like.
It's so weird because it's like
He
it
must have,
really was like a
looked past
minute.
this room and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna keep walking."
The thing is we don't really know, and I think it's like because it's set up for us to be suspicious and everything. It does happen so fast that it makes me think like Mother immediately like bit him or whatever, for him to like not have responded to Tess when she's calling for him, and for him to have discovered this like, you know, camouflage like hidden like extra door. Like that had to have just been like him reacting very quickly.
Yeah. So then she like goes deeper into this tunnel and then basically runs into him, and then we finally get to know what's actually happening.
Well, and it shows him, and I think that clip is in the trailer, but he kind of looks like he's crawling or like
towards her.
Yeah, and he looks like really scared. And then he's like, something bit me, and she's like, what? He's like, something bit me, and he's all freaked out, and she's like, okay, like, we gotta go, and he's like, shh, like he's like scared shitless. He's like, shh, no, get down, like shh. And then Mama comes out.
Yeah, and she's like,
yeah, that, oh my god. I mean, I like fucking flew in the air.
Dude, the audience.
Dude.
The audience in my theater went nuts. They were screaming. And
yeah.
It was like,
I mean, she was really fucking scary looking. And there had been so much, I mean, what was that? Like 40 minutes of buildup? You know what I mean? Like,
we're like halfway in the movie, and all of a sudden it like cuts to black. Oh, and Tessa, we don't know what's going on with Tessa,
right? Because we just see. This is the thing. I close my eyes when it showed Mother. It shows Mother. It shows her like pop up and scream. I fucking like covered my eyes because I was like, nope, like that's fucking scary. I don't want to see that. And then all I hear is like. I'm like, okay, so I know someone's dying.
So when that scene is happening, Tess is just like...
Oh, it's just showing Tess?
Yeah, well, you can see like the head smashing, but she's just like in awe, like, what is happening? And she's just
like she can't even process.
Yeah, jaw dropped, and then it cuts to black. And then we get to see Justin Long.
And then we're on the PCH.
What's the PCH?
The Pacific Coast Highway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And
for those
Justin
who don't
Long
know
is
what that
driving.
is, like me.
It's like the highway or freeway or whatever
that you've seen in like all those movies. Like
it's like very like, you know, Malibu, like
Malibu vibes.
Malibu.
Anyway, so we finally get to see Justin Long. It turns out that like he's the one that owns this Airbnb.
It's really interesting because the movie all of a sudden like just becomes super like layered. You just don't know what's gonna happen, where it's going.
Yeah.
You know, and like so when his stuff comes, you're just like, what is who? You know,
Yeah.
and it's just like you find out he's this actor. He's like in this, obviously he's like in a great mood. He's driving on the PCH. He's like singing along to that song, like word for word. And then his agent calls and basically he finds out he's been Me Too'd.
Yep.
And that's kind of like the blacklist now.
And I think that's Kate Bosworth
Oh, really?
on the phone.
Oh, funny.
And did you know that they're married?
No, he's not. He's married. Oh, wait. No, what?
Or maybe the
What?
longtime girlfriend, but I think married.
What's his name? Justin Long?
Yeah. Justin Long, waist 28.
They're partners.
Oh.
She's really pretty. Okay, so I'm like my mind just always thinks of Justin Long and like when Drew Barrymore and him were dating.
Yeah.
Okay, so the director is married to Sarah Paxton,
Yeah.
who is in what was that Disney movie like Aquamarine? She's like the mermaid.
Oh my God. I've never seen that movie, but I remember her
remember.
from the Last House on the Left remake.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, who is she again in this movie?
Oh, I'm just saying she's the director's wife.
Oh. Okay, so we finally get introduced to like Justin Long's character, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We find out that he's like this actor who's been Me Too'd.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to go to Michigan, where he's from, and deal with like
Some property rental.
some property rental. And then that's when we learn that he is the owner of this Airbnb.
Yeah, the way they set up his character is he's like very shocked that he's been Me Too'd, and so you're kind of like on this journey with him where it's like, oh, is this just like, did he do this? Did he like
Yeah.
fuck with his co-star? And then so everyone around him's dropping him, right? Like his agent drops him, and then his financial advisor's like, you're gonna need a lot of money, or like maybe the lawyer, someone's like, you need a lot of money and like you're not gonna get any work.
Yeah.
And he needs a lot of money. So then it's like, where's he gonna get that money? Well, you can sell your property.
Yeah.
You know, you could probably get like $100,000 for that or whatever.
So he's back in Detroit, like going to sell this Airbnb.
Yep.
That he owns.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually goes to the house and finds that all the luggage and all that stuff is
Still there.
And that's how the two stories kind of connect.
Yeah.
Basically. And that's when the movie pretty much starts, you know.
That's when like the ride really starts.
Yes.
You know, like it was like, yeah, that was what was fun about it. Cause all we knew from the trailer and like all the marketing was like, or Keith and Tess, right?
Mhm.
They're like in this, it's like, who's this guy? Who's this, like, who's like the tricky one? Who's the trickster? Whatever. And then all of a sudden it like, we briefly see that there's some weird shit in the basement and like he just got attacked by some sort of creature.
Yeah.
And then now we're like in fucking Los Angeles with Justin Long, who's getting Me
Yeah.
Too'd. And then he goes back to the house and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. And he was giving like comic relief. So he calls his friend. It was like the funniest part of the movie. It was like it was so like perfect for his character, because his character ultimately is like a fucking bro.
Yeah.
You know, like he sincerely thinks he's done nothing wrong as
Yeah.
far as he sincerely thinks that.
And it's just, he does it so well too.
Yeah. It's interesting because, yeah, he kind of used to play a lot of like, kind of like what Shia LaBeouf did in his, or like, not anything now, but like fucking, what's it called? Transformers and shit. Like that kind of like that clumsy, funny guy.
Yeah, he was in Dodgeball and like all those rom-coms.
He's like, what's that movie called with Bruce Willis? Like
Unbreakable.
no, it's like an action movie with Bruce Willis.
Die Hard.
Yeah, like he's in one of those, I think.
Oh, he's in Live Free or Die Hard.
Yeah.
I actually really like that movie.
I never saw it.
Okay, so I know Justin Long from Jeepers Creepers, which
Right.
was like,
That's when the world found out who he was.
Oh boy. Oh my god. Hello? Hello?
I like to let my baby determine how long he likes to nurse.
Oh god.
what did you think from like the rest of the movie? Like, were you just like on the edge of your seat? Like,
Yeah, once his character came in, I was like, okay, where's this gonna go now?
right.
He's
out of touch and he's self-righteous.
right.
He's really out of touch though with like everything.
And like he's still thinking about how to sell his property, so that's why he's like going around with this measuring tape, basically, like
oh my gosh.
measuring.
So yeah,
like,
he's like, who? Why is there shit here? Like people were here, and then he goes downstairs and he finds the room with like the fucking mattress and like a bloody handprint in the camera, and instead like he's like, what the fuck? And then instead of being like, I gotta call the police, he goes, he's like, oh my god, is this square footage I can like add to my listing? But I don't want to skip over this. When he's like sitting on a bed earlier in the movie, he's like typing on a laptop. He closes the laptop and he just throws it behind him, but it lands on that thing and like that. I like died. That was so good.
Oh, so when he's like digging through the luggage, did you notice the book?
What was the book?
The book is, I got fun facts. The book that Justin Long finds is Jane Eyre, which apparently features a woman locked in the basement.
So she's a classic writer. Like she wrote Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Mansfield Park, Emma, and Northanger Abbey.
Okay, so the book that he finds apparently features a woman locked in the basement, which is kind of a dead giveaway, but you wouldn't know that if you didn't read it. But anyways, like once his character came into the story, he finds that room with like the video, the breastfeeding. Yeah. Then it gets
fucking weird.
Because now you're like, okay, you know that the thing is down there, and now you're like, oh my god, he's about to get it too.
Yeah. So he goes down there and mother fucking finds him and he falls into the little cage, the little pit that Tess is in, and she's like, shut the fuck up, dude. She's somehow surviving, and you're like, oh, she's alive. Yeah. And she's like, shh. And he's like, what? And he's like the audience, right? He's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what was that?
Yeah.
And she's like, dude, shut up. And then mother comes along and she's gonna feed her babies.
Yeah. She's like, do you know what's going on here? Or she says something like that.
Right.
And basically, like, the creature mother is basically like
Mother shows up and she's got literally a baby bottle.
Yeah, and I don't even know what's in the bottle, but she's like trying to feed Justin Long and Tess. No. And Tess is like, give me the bottle.
Yeah, Tess is like, I just gotta suck out of this bottle and she's not gonna kill me. Like, just fucking do it, dude. She just reaches down and grabs him. She's fucking fit. She's like this very strong woman. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, maybe it's because she's like living in a tunnel and it has to just like become, I don't know. I really don't. Maybe she dug the holes. Whoa.
But like, what does she eat?
I don't know. But I think, well, remember we find out later, the dude who like lives in the hood, the neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
The hood. The dude is like, she comes out at night.
Oh yeah.
So like, we know that she comes out, you know what I mean? And like, he's like, yeah, you don't fuck with that house. Like, you don't fuck with her. But yeah, so that happens. And then Justin she takes him. And then I think we cut to
the flashback.
The flashback, yeah. And the flashback's like so jarring.
I know. It's like, it feels like a different movie now.
It feels like Don't Worry, Darling.
It kind of does. It has that vibe.
It's only the 80s, but it looks like how you always portray the 50s, which is like very saturated, like pastels.
Is it not the 50s?
Oh shit, I don't know. I don't know.
Because the cars were very...
It was a long time ago. I don't know when it was.
Anyways.
I saw the movie once.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But
I want to watch it again.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it was like 50s or 60s. But yeah, it's like when Detroit was like thriving. But it was before, like, you kind of get a hint that things were starting to like...
Because people were moving out and they're like, we're not staying in this neighborhood.
Like, the neighborhood's changing.
And we're kind of following this man.
Right. He's fucking rude. He doesn't smile. He doesn't say a word. He just walks around like a creep. Oh, this is when I knew he was bad. When he's walking,
when they went to the flashback.
Well, we didn't know who he was yet.
I mean, I was like, I think I have an idea.
I know. Okay, whatever. But he didn't. His back was too stiff when he walked. I think that's like a dead giveaway when someone's like a villain, when they have a stiff back when they're walking.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer.
Girl. Yeah, and that whole flashback, you're explained where this whole thing came from or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it was like some
The
horrible
origin.
man. He goes to that store and gets, the lady's like, she's like, what do you need? He's like, having a baby, it's so fucking weird. And she's like, oh, you're gonna need diapers, you're gonna need like bottles, and you're gonna need, oh, you should take this tape because and that is a real thing. It is like nurses at hospitals usually like help teach you how to breastfeed, and not everyone can breastfeed, and not everyone can have the luxury of breastfeeding if you gotta work. And I mean, that is like the imagery and everything of breastfeeding makes a lot of sense why mother has this like strong, I mean, it's all she's learned, right?
Yeah.
She wants to have a baby and she wants to breastfeed it. She really wants to breastfeed it.
Yeah. This like video is just all
like,
she knows.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad.
It's super sad. It's really sad.
It's like the only word that she knows too.
Right.
Boop.
So at this point, Justin, does he get away and he's like running around? Because he discovers this evil man that so in the flashback, we find out this guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
He like was pretending to be a plumber or whatever, and he unlocked that window. Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay. But then I remember and there is like a little foreshadowing or whatever when the neighbor says something and he goes, I'm not leaving this house. Or he says, I'm not leaving.
Oh, does
he? says that. Yeah, he says that to his neighbor. He's like, you thinking about getting out of here? And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, he says something, and then he quite literally never left.
Yeah, because, like, we eventually see him in the tunnel that they're in.
Right.
And this tunnel is, like, really long, so I don't know how this tunnel came about.
I know, it's... Okay, so then, like, like, later on when... the guy who like tells Tess earlier this guy,
the homeless man,
he's like running to Tess and he's like, don't go in there, and like and then Tess gets all scared and like calls the cops because it's like you're just judging someone by the way they look. And obviously she's not gonna think, oh, he's trying to let me know that there's a creature living in the basement, like I shouldn't go in here. Like, of course,
well, I don't think he even knows that.
No, he does.
About the tunnels?
He knows that mother lives down in the ground and that she comes up at night. He knows all this. And he's like, and that's why he's like, so he's known about this. He's like, and then he knows the whole background. So then, the background is this disgusting man. He basically would kidnap, torture, rape women. They would reproduce. And then we're told that he would do that to the children.
Yeah, and then it would be like a repeat. There's
so
like just multiple like inbred generations.
Right. So like just based off the timing, I would think that mother is like his granddaughter. I know.
Gross.
So gross. And it kind of helps explain why mother maybe doesn't like look traditional, but also she's like living in the ground.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, because mother like stopped when he got close to the door, and it kind of, it was like, oh, she doesn't want to go in there.
Yeah,
and
she doesn't want to disturb grandpa,
daddy, husband.
Ew.
Or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm sure he just, it's like, even if you don't know what society is like and like you don't know what the outside world is really like, I think you instinctually know when someone is shitty and evil.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he was terrible, and he probably smelled like shit too.
Yeah.
He probably smelled so bad. Like, it looked like he hadn't gotten out of that bed in forever.
No.
And she probably, just like had to, I don't know, like get food for him. And
still, but like what food?
I don't know, whatever she could find when she crawls out of the fucking tunnels.
I guess.
Maybe
rabbits.
Like, I mean, who knows? Like, people, we didn't always have grocery stores. Like,
that's true.
Who knows? Maybe she gets creative. Maybe she breastfeeds him. Because and that's the thing too, is she could have had lost children. I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong if you know, but like if you've had that much incest, every time you like the more generations, because that's like what happened with royal families, right? Is like they would have offspring that were like kind of fucked,
right?
And then they would like just like banish them or hide them or whatever. So it makes sense if like she can't even, I don't know, I'm just theorizing, like maybe she's had kids or whatever.
Totally. That breastfeeding scene. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was like, so when it got to that, it was like a sweet release because we knew that this guy was like kind of a piece of shit. And we want Tess out. Like, we want her to get out.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, like kind of going by. And I'm like, run, bitch.
Yeah.
Just
leave
go.
His ass.
Just fucking run. So yeah, and then it just shows him and he's just like, he wouldn't even take a fucking bottle. You're in a pit with like a creature handing you a bottle, and this chick who's like survived is like, just drink it, dude. That's all you have to do is drink it, and he won't. It's like he's so difficult.
Yeah.
So then Mother's like trying to shove her nipple in his mouth.
Oh my God, that was so
It was
gross.
so funny. And he just, you can tell it's like the most disgusting thing he's had to do.
That was a huge nipple.
Big ass nipple.
But there was like no milk, so it was just saggy.
Ugh.
Boobs.
And
Anyways.
like hairy, right?
Oh yeah.
It was a whole lot. And she's probably never showered. No offense.
Yeah. So then Tess like escapes, pretty much leaves Justin Long. And
she should have never looked back.
Yeah, for real. But like she like went to the cops pretty much.
Yeah, she went to the cops.
And they thought that like she was some crackhead.
Yeah. Because she'd been in this basement for how many days? She doesn't even know, right?
It hasn't been that long.
It couldn't have been that. I don't but I think it's probably been a couple days. Because she does look like exhausted and that's like, it's got to be more than 24 hours, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the cops are just, I mean, that's how cops act too. Like, you run up to them and you like want help and they're like, don't touch the vehicle. Show us your ID. They're like fucking dicks.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I know how this looks, but like, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has no ID, so like she can't really prove her identity.
Right.
Like, who she is. She does like take them to the house, but they don't really do anything.
They're kind of like humoring her.
Yeah, they're just kind of mocking her because
Yeah.
she kind of
They're
does
like,
sound like a crazy person, looks like
She's
one.
like, no, my bag's inside. And they're like,
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look good.
So then the cops leave because they get a call and they just like...
And they're like, we don't want to deal with this crackhead. I mean, really, that's like how they're acting.
Yeah.
And then so the guy who would try to warn her before, he pops back up, which like I remember like my partner during the movie was like, that guy's gonna, and I'm like, I know. Like, I know. But yeah, when he came back and he's like, don't go in there. And she's like, oh, someone's down there. And he's like, too fucking bad. Like, just turn around. And
But how does she get in? Because the door's locked, right?
Yeah, did she like break the basement window and go in or something? Whatever. She gets back in. And
does
then
she grab her shit or does she well eventually
Oh,
she
like,
does
because she gets her car keys at some point.
And then she's like gonna go rescue Justin Long.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, I'll go down there and like help my this strange man that you do not know. I'm gonna help him out.
And she should have never did that because her ass got shot.
Wait, I just thought of this. Do you think Mother and Daddy ate Keith? Because where's his body?
That's true.
Maybe they ate him.
I think Mother ate him.
She went, she's like, I need this for my milk.
But I don't think like that old man was like eating anything. Because Mother wouldn't even go in there.
Yeah, that's true. Ew. Yeah, and that part too, like that was something I really liked that they did was when AJ went into like that guy's room and his first reaction is like, I need to save this man, right? So we're like kind of like conflicted with like, who is AJ? You know, like okay, he wants to help this guy, like that's cool. You know, he's like concerned about another person and he's like, I want to help you, but then he like checks out this fucking
the video
VHS and he's just like, what the fuck? He's like, what is wrong with you? And then the dude fucking shoots himself in the head. Disgusting.
I thought he was about to shoot Justin.
I know. I think that's what Justin thought too. But the guy's just like, boom.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because it's like my God, he's what, 95 years old? Like he looks like shit. He's living in a fucking basement tunnel with like his like ancestral like offspring and no one else is there, which that was like the one thing, like walking away from that movie was like, I was just like, where's everyone else? Like, where's the other women or children? Because
I was wondering that too.
That's
like,
the thing.
Are there more?
Or did they all just kind of die because they didn't have like enough resources and nutrition or ew.
He breeded them and then ate them.
Oh yeah, what if that's it? He's like a cannibal, ancestral cannibal.
And they have like a fridge just to keep them eating.
Which, you know what? That's what happens in nature. So it's not too...
Okay, well, before that guy like shoots himself though, like
Yeah.
you can tell like he's kind of like
He's kind of
nervous.
looking around like, oh,
Like,
I'm busted.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like Justin Long's like, or AJ, he's basically like, oh, we're gonna get the cops here, and that's when his eyes are like the old man's eyes.
He's like,
no.
He's like, no, because there's like stacks of these tapes of that man, probably in that room that we saw earlier, right?
Yeah.
That man like raping and torturing women.
Yeah, and he would just watch all those videos all those years because,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
He
But like,
I don't know.
Where do you think this room is though? Like,
I don't know. It's just really interesting, and I'm sure if we like did some research, we'd find out. Like,
it probably goes
maybe-
to another house.
Probably goes to another house, and there may be some sort of like history, like maybe in Detroit there were underground
Railroads.
maybe, or even just cellars. Like
Yeah.
there's probably an explanation for this stuff, you know, if we wanted to look into it, but maybe there's not. I don't know.
Or like a mine.
Yeah, like there's probably something, like a reason. At
Yeah.
least there would have been like a hole, a
Yeah.
room underground, and then
If
they
you
just-
guys know the details
Yeah.
about the tunnel system in Detroit, let us know.
let us know. And if there's still a tunnel system, are people living below us?
Probably it's like us.
Oh my god, us. Yeah. Okay, so that's when it turns into us. But like, and then Justin, yeah, he's like so disgusted, and he's like, how could you? Why would you do this? And it's like, again, kind of like giving us an understanding of his character, because his idea of rape is like what we would call it really happens, but we call it a fantasy rape, because that's like,
Yeah.
people have this idea that rape is just like some guy jumps out of the shadows and like he's a stranger and he rapes you and he's like violent, and it's like more than likely, you know, you're a rapist.
Mhm.
More than likely you're going to be sexually assaulted in your home, you know.
Yeah.
And so he sees that and he's like, oh, this is a rapist, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the bad guy. Like, and you can tell, you know, he doesn't think he is, and now he really doesn't think he is, because he's like, oh no, this is a fucking bad guy.
Eventually we realize that he is the barbarian. They are both the old man and Justin.
Yeah. So barbarian is what it's actually, it's a derogatory term technically now, but
Mhm.
back in the day in history, like I want to say it was like, okay, what's the house address?
It's like something Barbary Street.
So it's like okay, so whatever it is, and this is a complete coincidence, but I heard this from the director. It's like 447 Barbarian Street or something. In the year 447 or something is when the barbarians invaded some country.
Oh yeah.
But
that's right.
it's basically like you could boil it down to like a racist term. The barbarians were late in the Roman Empire. The word barbarian came to refer to all the foreigners who lacked Greek and Roman traditions, especially in various tribes and armies, putting pressure on Rome's borders. So yeah, that's why it's like a derogatory term.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't. So it kind of fits into the thing of like different. As much as Mother is scary and stuff, like she's just existing and
Yeah.
surviving. So like, yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, as far as I know, I mean, everyone in like history, especially men, were like fucking everything and raping everything and children and stuff. So
Yeah.
But it goes both ways. It wasn't like the
Yeah.
barbarians were just doing that. And I don't know if they were. I assume they were, because I mean, that's what humans do. But
Yeah.
I know that I'm pretty sure the Roman soldiers and stuff would like fuck little boys because they thought it would like make them more powerful.
Oh wow.
Some fucked up shit like that. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Don't quote me though. Do your own research. Yeah, and so did Socrates, unfortunately.
Mhm. So what else?
Yeah, and then it was like, that was like the funniest but like most fucked up part of the movie, is because you're kind of playing like a pendulum, right? With like, is AJ like a shithead or like piece of
Yeah.
shit, or is he gonna like
Oh, he's trying to redeem himself.
he's trying to redeem, like, that's what, so you're like, is this guy gonna redeem himself? Is he gonna like basically give his life to save this woman he doesn't know? And you kind of think that maybe just because he's faced like the boogeyman, right? Like he's faced like the evil rapist who he's going to be called in the newspapers and stuff. But no, he gets out, and then Mother comes she comes and she like just straight up rips the arm off the dude who was like, she doesn't come out here.
Yeah, the homeless man.
And the reason I think she's out there is because she thinks her babies have gotten away.
Right.
And she's got to get in, especially because Tess was obedient and like taking the milk and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, my baby. And then, yeah, Mother chases them off like that water
It's
taller?
it's like a silo. Like
a silo?
Like on a farm.
Sure, okay. Yeah, where you put like hay or seeds
and
or something.
corn and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. What is that? Don't say it. What? Keep quiet.
A quiet place?
A quiet place.
Yeah.
It's giving me a quiet place. They were on the roof.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then mother fucking runs up there and there's this...
She's fast as fuck.
She's fast. Dude, she's fit.
Yeah.
Oh, and she'd also at this point been hit by a car but like survived.
Oh, yeah, because like Tess like
Yeah.
runs into her.
Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, and she runs up there and it's like funny but so fucked up, but it's also it's like such like a, that's right, he's not gonna redeem himself. AJ is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, but he grabs Tess. That's the other thing. He in this quick moment he's like, I'm gonna use her to get away.
Yeah.
I'm gonna distract mother. And he doesn't like just like push her or like abandon her. He grabs Tess by the hair and throws her off. And then mother jumps off and follows to get her baby.
Yeah, basically. Well, he's like, you want your baby? Go get it.
Yeah. Oh my God. He's such an asshole. Somehow, thank goodness, Tess survives.
Yeah. I'm like, that fall is like...
Well, they make it look like mother grabbed her in the air and mother fell.
That was such a
which is impossible.
That was such a campy part.
I know, it's so funny.
Because it reminded me of like Sam Raimi. Like,
oh, it was very Sam Raimi.
Like,
yeah,
just the way
her just like jumping like a panther to the camera. Oh, so they think mother's dead, and then so AJ comes up and he starts gaslighting her straight up. He's like, I didn't want to do that, and like, actually, like, you started falling, and I couldn't even grab you, like, you were like, and you're just like, oh my God. And then mother's just like, I'm gonna fucking squeeze your eyeballs, bitch.
We think that mother is dead,
right? We think she's dead, and he's in Tess is like, he shot her. That's the other thing. He fucking shot her. That earlier. Yeah. So she's been shot. She's been thrown off a silo.
Yeah.
She's been drinking some mysterious mommy milk. And that's basically how the movie ends, is like AJ gets killed.
Well, she takes the gun and pretty much shoots mama.
This is like that moment where like mother's like, it's like she just risked her life because she wants to protect her baby. And she's just like, mama, and she's like wants to take care of her baby, and like it's kind of this beautiful moment, you know what I mean? And like Tess kind of like looks into her eyes, but then Tess is like, she has a gun in her hand she's like been able to reach for, and it's like she finally makes the right choice. You know what I mean? Because she could have been like, oh,
I'll just go back in
this
the
is
tunnel
just
with
mommy you. Like she just wants a baby, but instead she like understands, like, I gotta shoot this thing in the face. Or whatever she did.
Pretty much. And then that song comes on.
What was the song?
Be my baby.
Oh, right, yeah. But yeah, so Barbarian, it's like uncivilized or primitive. That's how it's like perceived. That's how mother was. But I was gonna say, like, I listened to an interview with the director, and he was saying, so, it took him a while to get this funded and everything. A lot of criticism toward, the introduction of AJ halfway through the script. Obviously, we fucking love that. But, like, people have a hard time with change and, like, trying new things. Yeah, he eventually had $3.5 million. He was, like, gonna go to Bulgaria and shoot. I think, like, they shot in Bulgaria. Probably because it's cheap.
They shot this movie? Interesting.
Yeah, we should go there. We're shooting an episode. Maybe it was because of COVID. Like, maybe it was just like I don't know. But they shot there. And then he ended up getting it knocked up to $4.5 million. So then after they finished and everything, and I can't remember the producers on it, but when they edited it, they showed it to Disney's marketing team.
Oh.
Yeah, which I was like, he says that, and I'm like, what the fuck is Disney like? I mean, I love the movie, whatever.
But I'm just like, this marketing team has worked with Disney, it was owned.
I don't know. It was said Disney's marketing team. That's how it was said. So I don't know. But Disney fucking Plus now has like this, National Geographic, like, I don't know, Disney's just turning into like Amazon.
Oh my God, it is true.
Right? Disney and Amazon.
They're gonna merge too to become one. Yeah.
It was just like one of the funnest theater experiences I've had in a long time. It was so, yeah. And I like text a lot of people just like, don't, just go in. I mean, like we're going to say this about every fucking movie, but like, yeah, going blind, like it's just so fun. Yeah. It's so like unpredictable.
A wild ride. And I tell my friends too, like, you need to go see this because like, it's definitely like edge of your seat with the sound and everything. Like you need to feel it. And you need to feel it.
Watching it with a crowd.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like really fun because everyone's just like when it's cut to when it showed Justin, I think everyone in the theater's kind of like looking at each other like the fuck is going on.
Well, that's the other thing is that like we're introducing this new character midway.
Yeah.
And like wasn't that the part of the problem with this movie was that like
when he was trying to get it picked up, I think that was like the big criticism was like what genre is this movie? Like the first half is like mystery romantic and then you're gonna fucking introduce like another main character 40 pages in or whatever it was. So yeah, but you know what, it fucking was great. It was worth.
No, I loved it.
And he obviously, I mean, he did it for what's considered a small budget or not like a huge mega budget or whatever, but I mean, I'm sure. What do we know? How it's done in the box office?
It's doing well.
Yeah.
Like #1 movie.
So theatrical, domestic, 36 million.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, so this style of filmmaking where like, you're introducing a new character, I feel like movies need to start doing that more.
Yeah.
And I think they are because we're seeing like movies like Nope where there's like different chapters.
Yeah. We're fucking bored, dude. Like we're bored and we all just like had to sit through a pandemic together.
And our minds are kind of set like we watch TV.
Yeah.
So when there's like chapters in a movie, it kind of makes it feel like you're watching a TV show or like webisodes.
Yeah, it gives you like a mental opportunity to take a break,
But also like Quentin Tarantino does that in his movies too, so it's like
but he doesn't. Not everyone. That's like his big like polarizing thing. Is like a lot of people are like, I cannot watch that fucking shit.
Wow.
So much dialogue. I mean, I like it, but
still.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a tool and it's awesome when people actually decide to use it.
So, okay. Moving on to fun facts.
Yes.
Okay, so Zac Efron was supposed to take the role of Justin Long's character, AJ.
Fuck that. I wouldn't have liked that. He can play a douche, but I think Justin Long... Because the other thing I thought when it showed Justin Long was, callback horror. Jeepers Creepers.
Yes.
And there's something like that felt nice about that.
Yeah, and like... Yeah, because he hasn't done horror in a long time.
He did do it. Didn't he do a Sam Raimi movie, Dragging Me to Hell?
That's true. Yes.
Yeah. But that was how long ago? 15 years?
Well, he also did Kevin Smith's movie, Tusk, which is like...
Oh, I never watched that. I want to watch that.
It is so...
I don't know anything about
disgusting.
Is it?
Disturbing. People did not like this movie.
Oh, okay.
Including Billy, our friend Billy.
Oh, okay.
And...
Interesting.
Yeah. But I kind of liked it because it was disturbing.
Yeah, I'd probably like it. More disturbing the better. Same with books. If any of you have any books that are like fucked up, things like The Cement Garden, Flowers in the Attic, Mysterious Skin, give it over. Let me know. Comment it on Instagram.
So, yeah, Zac Efron was going to be in this movie, but no, it went to Justin Long. Because I don't think he was available anyways.
He was probably busy like fixing that weird Juvederm he got put in his jaw.
Oh, here's another fun fact. Speaking of Jordan Peele, he actually read the script for this and saw a cut of the film before the release.
What an honor.
And
can you imagine?
So, yeah, Zach Cregger and Peele are like friends.
Oh,
like,
right, because Peele that's it. Peele's background in comedy. That's what I'm saying. Like these fucking let any kind of sketch comedy person, if they want to make a horror movie, please give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
And don't hinder them.
Yeah. So when Peele saw the cut, he was kind of like a consultant.
That's so cool.
So you can see like how like Jordan Peele's like inspiration kind of went into this.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of unexpected. There's like a lot of commentary.
It's like minted in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was cool.
Damn, that's so cool. That makes me like happy. So yeah, and then I mentioned that thing did I mention this? It was like a complete coincidence. But the address on Barbary Street or whatever, whatever that is, it's a complete coincidence, but it actually fits a historic timeline of like the year 1447, like barbarians invaded. Yeah. Or whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But it was a coincidence. Like the director was like, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. He said because he saw it on Reddit, because people on Reddit were like doing all this research, and he was like, that's not why I named the street that or the address. That is a coincidence.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
But it's perfect.
And that's where conspiracy theories come from, y'all.
Right.
We wish they were true. We wish things were interesting.
I mean,
and sinister and crazy.
Look at what happened with Nope. The Reddit people were the ones that came up with
yeah, right. Not of planet Earth. Peel's like, of course I thought of that.
Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are, this was a really fun movie. I really appreciate that this was a horror movie that was able to weave in like current events, which they did it in a way that wasn't like that. It doesn't feel like has been done that way. I thought it was really fun having Bill in there too, because he's also like now an icon for horror. So it was like, I love all that. I love the kind of, the different social commentary it had. Yeah. Which, makes me think of Peel, but who knows? But I love not knowing anything about it. And I really appreciate that we didn't see what was on those tapes. I appreciate that kind of shit wasn't shown. And it didn't need to be. And I think that's what gave it more power. I think that's more respect. Because that's the thing is like, we don't need to see that shit. The audio was enough. Yeah. I mean, seeing Mother, God bless her, that was enough though to know that, it's like, I don't want to give this guy anymore, whatever. And I don't want to know what he fucking did. Whatever he did, it was enough to make AJ like teary-eyed and like look like he was going to fucking throw up. Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah, we don't always have to see that shit. Yeah. But you can talk about it. Just kidding.
Well, my final thoughts about this movie. It was a wild ride, and I enjoyed every second of it. It gave me everything that I needed in a horror movie, because, the adrenaline and the suspense, the stupidity, the campiness, like everything. And it was like a monster movie. So yeah, it's something that like you rarely get made by Hollywood, pretty much. Like, right. Hollywood. I feel like Hollywood but like never goes there.
A new artist, kind of. What's his name?
Zac Efron.
No.
Zach Cregger.
Cregger.
Zach Cregger.
So it was really cool seeing and that's the thing too, like in the interview I was listening to, is he's like, I didn't want to be like a comedy like actor or what. He's like, I've always wanted to be a director.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I'm sure Jordan Peele had probably the same. Yeah.
Well, Jordan Peele was like, he stopped acting because studios wanted him to play the poop emoji in the Emoji Movie.
Shut the fuck.
And he was like, I'm fucking done.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Did you ever see Keanu? I never saw it either. Yeah, I wanted to see it. I just never saw it. Great. Ricky, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I do food TikTok at somecallme_Ricky. What about you, Brittany?
So you can find me deep in the tunnels under your house. I'm there with my daddy. No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
Just trying to learn how to breastfeed. You can only find me on Instagram, humble_book_reviews.
Cute. Well, if you enjoyed our episode today, check us out. Give us a follow on our Instagram page. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.